Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you another original pattern, something that I just came up with kind of on the fly that I think will be perfect for beginners. And yeah, it's going to have some texture. Things you will need include some yarn. I have this blue yarn. I'll leave a link to this in the description if you like this color. It's a beautiful blue in my opinion. And for those of you who have seen my videos in the past and watch them frequently, you already know that I love the color blue. Alright, so you need some yarn. This is medium 4. You can use whatever size, but medium 4 normally calls for a 5.5 millimeter US crochet hook size. Okay, I'm going to go with a 6 millimeter US J hook because of my tension. It's a little tight, so just to compensate for that, that's what I'm using, but use whatever you want. You will need a darning weaving tapestry needle, okay, and you'll need a pair of scissors. Let's get to it. Alright, so you will start out with a slip knot. So take your yarn, wrap it around your finger, twist exchange. Now wrap this around your finger that way. We'll pull this one over that finger and off the finger while lifting up on the one that's still on your finger. That creates a loop. We'll insert our crochet hook to the loop and then we'll pull to tighten. Alright, so now we are going to chain a multiple of 3 plus 2. So my multiple will be 12. 3 times 4 is 12. And then I'm going to add 2 more chains, which will take me to a total of 14. So I'm going to chain out 14 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Alright? This has established my width, and this is wide enough for the scarf that I want to make. So if you want to go wider, choose a higher multiple, and then add 2 more chains, okay? Alright, so now we are going to skip the first chain. That's the first chain from the hook, and we're going to go into the second one. And in that second chain, that's where we're going to make a single crochet. For those of you who have never made a single crochet, the way you make it is you do not yarn over first, you just enter the chain. So we'll skip one, go into the second one, and enter like that. Now we're going to yarn over and we'll pull through to the front. This will leave us with 2 loops on our crochet hook. 1, 2. We'll yarn over again and go through 2. Go through both loops. 1, 2. Okay? So that single crochet is in that chain, and we're going to go into the next chain now. Okay? We're going to put a single crochet in each of these chains. So once again, we're making a single crochet, so we do not yarn over first, we just enter the chain. So enter the next chain, yarn over, pull through to the front for 2 loops. 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. So you'll continue putting 1 single crochet in every chain across, and I'll see you on the other side. Wow, what a beautiful blue. I just had to take a moment to acknowledge that. It is such a beautiful blue. Alright, so let's do a stitch count. How many single crochets should we have? Well, we started out with 14 chains, but we skipped one, and that left us with 13 chains. So we should have, in reality, 13 single crochets. Let's count. 1, you can count the tops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 single crochets. Okay? That is correct. Row 2, you're going to chain 2. So chain 1, chain 2. In this final single crochet, you'll see that that is where these 2 chains are coming out of, okay? It's the last single crochet of row 1, but when we turn our work, it's going to be considered the first stitch, okay, that we could crochet into for row 2. So I'm going to leave that in there. I'm going to turn my work, and you see it's that very first stitch, okay? In this pattern, this chain 2 that we just made will count as a double crochet, and it will count for that very last stitch of row 1 or the very first stitch that we could crochet into for row 2. Okay, so we're going to bypass that one. This chain 2 counts for that. Alright, and in the next stitch we're going to put 3 double crochet. So yarn over, the chain 2 counts for the first single crochet, yarn over. Why do we yarn over? That should tell you we're making a different stitch. We're making a taller stitch. That's why we yarned over. Go into the second stitch, 1, 2, the second one. I'll give you the aerial view and slice the icing off the top of the cake. So you should see the top of the stitch. It's the second stitch over. Now yarn over and pull through to the front for 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. Okay. Now we're going to go back into that same stitch 2 more times, and we're going to make 2 more double crochet in there. So yarn over, go back in there, that same place, slicing the icing off the top of the cake and making a double crochet. Yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Yarn over, go back in there one more time, slicing the icing off the top of the cake. Yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, and 2. And this is what we have. Okay, so we have the chain 2 right there, which counts for that very first stitch that we could crochet into for row 1. And then in the second stitch, the second single crochet, we put 3 double crochet. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches and we're going to repeat what we just did. So we're in that one, that's where the 3 double crochet are. We're going to skip this next one, 1, and we're going to skip this next one after that, 2. So skip 1, skip 2, and then this third one away like that. That's where we're going to put 3 double crochet. Okay? So yarn over to prepare, skip 1, skip 2, and then this third one, I'll pull that out now. We'll put 3 double crochet, slicing the icing off the top of the stitch, top of the cake. And make your 3 double crochet. So 1, yarn over, back in there for 2, yarn over, back in there for 3. And we're going to keep repeating this until we get to the other side. So yarn over, skip 1, skip 2, and then the third one, that's where we're going to put our 3 double crochet. 1, back in there for 2, yarn over, back in there for 3. Okay. Yarn over, skip 1, skip 2, and then this third one away, we put our 3 double crochet. Yarn over, back in there for 2, yarn over, back in there for 3. And don't forget, you guys can slow this down. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. And then on the end, we see how we have 2 single crochet left. So we're going to yarn over, skip 1, and then this final single crochet on the end. Give yourself the aerial view so you can clearly see the top. Slice the icing off the top of the cake and make your 1 double crochet. Okay. Something to note is that in between these groupings of 3 double crochet, notice I did not chain. I went from the third double crochet in this group of 3 immediately to the first double crochet of that grouping of 3. And same thing. Okay. So no chaining, just double crochets. Okay. Now, I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and here, these next 2 rows will be your repeat rows, your pattern repeat rows. Alright, so in the previous row, that chain 2 counted for that first stitch that we could crochet into. For this row, it will not. Okay, that chain 1 is just kind of to get us up to the height, but we're actually going to crochet into that very first stitch. A single crochet. We're going to make a single crochet in there. Okay, so there's the chain 1. We're still going to go into that very first stitch that we can crochet into, and we're going to make a single crochet like that. 1, and then we're going to put a single crochet in every single stitch across. So 2. So here's the next one. 3. Here's the next one. 4. Okay, so we put a single crochet in that very first stitch. That double crochet there, and then these 3 double crochet there. So that's 4 stitches, 4 single crochets that we've made. 5, 6, just continue putting a single crochet in every double crochet across. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then here's this chain 2 on the end. We're going to put a single crochet in the second chain up, the top chain. So 1, 2, that's the top chain there. Okay, and we'll put a single crochet, and that's the 14th stitch. Okay, because of what we did in the previous row, we increased just by 1 stitch, and that's intentional and it's fine, so don't panic. So to recap, we started with 14 chains. When we crocheted into the second chain from the hook, that left us with 13 single crochets. But then when we did this row, because of what we did, that brought us to 14 stitches. Okay, and so now when we complete this row that we just did by putting 1 single crochet in every stitch, including that very first one, that took us back to 14. Okay, and this is what we're going to maintain. Okay, so that's a repeat row. The next repeat row will go like this. You'll chain 1 and you'll chain 2. So chain 2, because it's a double crochet row. You'll turn your work. Okay. We're going to find these groupings of 3 double crochet. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and here is the 4th one. Okay. So I think the easiest way to do this is to find the grouping of 3 double crochet and then go to the center double crochet. So 1, 2, that's the center. Why is the center? Because there are 3 of them, right? And the second one is the middle one, so that's the center. So I found the center, and now I'm going to go up to the single crochet that's in that one. So that's the center, 1, 2, and then go up, and that's the single crochet. In that single crochet, okay, that's where we're going to put a group of 3 double crochet. But you guys, guess what we're going to do? We're going to put those 3 double crochet in the back loop. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. So I've chained 2. I'll yarn over to prepare because I'm making double crochet. I find the center, double crochet 1, 2, so I'll go over 1, 2, and then go up to the single crochet that corresponds to that double crochet. Now that I've found that top, okay, I'm going to only crochet in the back of it. So here's the top, right? This right there is the front loop, that's the back loop right there. We're only going to enter the back part, that back loop. Okay, so yarn over, slice the icing, part of the icing, partial icing. So go into the back loop and make your double crochet. So like that. And then we're gonna put 2 more double crochet in that same back loop. So yarn over, go back into the back loop and make another double crochet. Yarn over, go back into that back loop one more time and make your 3rd double crochet. Okay? And that's what we have. This is going to give you texture because now you can tell when you compare it to these 3, these are kind of flat, right? But looking at this one, they're sitting in the back, and that's the cool effect. Just like in this previous double crochet row, we do not chain in between the groupings of 3 double crochet. We just yarn over to prepare to make our next group. Once again, find the next grouping of 3, there it is. Find the center double crochet, there it is, and go up. This is the stitch, the single crochet that we're going to be working into, but remember, from here on out, when you're working on the double crochet rows, you only work into the back loop. So I yarned over, I found the stitch, but I'm only going to go in the back loop, and that's where I'm going to put my 3 double crochet. So 1, back in there for 2, back in there for 3. Alright, continue. Here's the next grouping of 3, center loop or center double crochet, go up. There's this corresponding single crochet, but I'm only working in the back loop, so I will go there and put my 3 double crochet. Back in there for 2, back in there for 3. Yarn over, find the final group, there it is. Here's the center one, go up, that's the single crochet that corresponds to that double crochet, and go into the back loop. and make your 3 double crochet. Alright, now we'll yarn over, and in that final single crochet, so there's 1 and there's 2, remember we have 2 left, we will just make a double crochet in the back loop of that final single crochet. So skip 1, go to the end, but only crochet in the back loop. And now that whole row sits in the back, which is pretty cool. It's really pronounced when you kind of rotate it and you see it. Alright, I got one more thing to show you with the next row of single crochet, because remember you're only alternating between those 2 rows. Okay, so you'll chain 1, turn your work, and now with the single crochet you're only going to work in the front loop. So just like the previous single crochet, we still, even though we chained 1, that's not going to count for that stitch. We're going to actually crochet into the first stitch that we can crochet into. However, we're only going to work into the front loops. So here's the stitch, the first stitch that we can crochet into. And what I'm saying is, instead of slicing the icing off the entire top of the cake, right, slicing the icing off the stitch, the entire top of the stitch, we're only going to go into that front loop. You guys just worked in the back loops in the previous row. Now we're going to work only in the front loops for the row of single crochet. If you want to, you can crochet into the whole thing like the previous single crochet row, but I think this will add even more texture by just crocheting into the front loop. So let's do it. Slice the icing or part of the icing off the top of the front of the cake and make your single crochet. And that's what we're going to do with every stitch across. Remember, because it's a single crochet, we don't yarn over first, we just enter the stitch. So find the top, give yourself the area view, and make sure you only go in the front loop. Okay. Here's the next one. Only go into the front loop. So you're kind of angling your crochet hook up. You're splitting the top like that. Okay. So I'm just going to continue putting 1 single crochet in the front loop of every stitch until I get to the other side, and I'm going to show you what that's going to do for you. Front loop. So when I'm doing this, I'm just going to remind you guys, the single crochet rows work into the front loop, the double crochet rows work into the back loop. Okay, now I'm at the chain 2, so you can't really do the whole front loop, back loop thing because it's a chain. So just enter the chain and make a single crochet. And you guys might be wondering, how many single crochet, how many stitches do you have now? Well, remember I told you should be maintaining 14 from here on out, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it works. Now let's turn it around and see what it looks like. Okay, and it creates that ridge. Okay, so this row of double crochet kind of sits in the back, and then when we crochet from this perspective in the front loop only, it creates that little ridge. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing, alternating between single crochet rows and double crochet rows for the duration of the scarf. Okay, so with the next row, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and remember that chain 2, because this is a double crochet row, that does count for that first stitch. So what we're going to do is we'll yarn over to prepare, and then find the grouping of 3, find the center double crochet, go up, and there's that stitch, but remember to only crochet in the back loop. Put your 3 double crochet in the back loop. 2, back in there for 3. And so every double crochet row that you see, those double crochets will sit to the back. Okay? As I said, I'm going to get some length and then I'll check back in and see how you guys are doing. But yeah, I thought this was a really cool pattern. I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so I have gotten to my desired length, and I'm going to end with a row of single crochet. Okay, apologize for my voice. I'm a little under the weather today, but I got to finish this video for you guys. So, alright, so yes, as I said, I'm going to finish with a row of single crochet. So I'll chain 1 like that, like normal, turn my work. And then, however, instead of working only in the front loop, right, I'm going to go into the entire top of the stitch. So this very first one where that chain 1 is coming out of, I'll slice the icing off the top of the cake and make my single crochet. And just continue slicing the icing all the way across, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. And I'll see you on the other side. Alright, so I got all of my single crochets placed into the tops of the stitches, including into the top chain of that chain 2 there. Alright, so now I'm going to chain 1 and cut my yarn and then fasten off. Okay. And I could weave this tail in. However, something that I want you to notice, let me zoom out a little bit, is that you're going to notice with the scarf that it might kind of curve on you. See how it's kind of a bow there? It's just the nature of the stitch, and then also it may want to curve in a little bit. So we could block it. Okay, blocking is a technique that helps with that sort of thing, just to kind of get it how you want it, using pins and some moisture. But this is a channel for beginners, and I'm not ready to show you how to do that just yet. So instead, we're going to make a border to go along this scarf. You can do it in the same color. You guys know I like using different colors, so I'm going to use white. Okay, so yeah, let's add that border. By the way, if you're wondering, this scarf is completely reversible. This is the side that I was showing you and that I was going for, you know, just all that texture. But then if you look on the other side, and normally when you do crochet patterns like this, we're using the front loop of a stitch and the back loop of a stitch, you'll have a design on one side and you'll usually have some sort of pattern that's just by default left on the other side. So this is what it looks like on the other side. Because it's curving in like that, that's its tendency, I'm going to crochet around the border, starting in this corner and going around the back side. Okay, so you want to be looking at the back of the stitches when you start to add your border. So I'm going to grab my crochet hook, and in this corner, that's where I fastened it off. Okay, I'm just going to go into the side in that corner like that, just kind of in the center of that single crochet on the end. You don't have to be super precise. Instead of weaving in this tail, I would do it this way. It's going to kind of affect or distort these single crochets. So instead of weaving it in, since I want to crochet through these tops later, I'm just going to crochet over this tail as I go down along its side. Alright, so I've entered the stitch. I'm going to grab my white yarn, hook it on. And you guys, this is optional. You don't have to add a border if you don't want to. Okay. Alright, so yarn over, pull through, and hold the tail on the back right there so it doesn't come loose, and then immediately chain 1 to kind of secure it like that, and then pull. Alright, at this point you can tie a couple of knots between the tail of the white and the tail of the blue. Just make sure your loop for the white is small enough, okay, before you tie the knots, because you're kind of committed once you do. So we'll tie a couple of knots. 1, 2, and yes, we can also crochet over the white tail, but we don't need to crochet over that much length, so we can cut these down. Alright, so now I'm working with the white in that corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these 2 tails on the side on top of where I'm going to be crocheting, like there. Okay, and I'm going to go back in there where I initially entered to that single crochet, and I'm going to pull through like that and add a single crochet. Okay, and now I'm going to add a half double crochet, just kind of space these stitches out along the side of the scarf. Okay, so I just did a single crochet. I'm going to go a little bit taller and do a half double crochet. So I yarn over, go somewhere on the side there, yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go to a slightly taller stitch after that, the double crochet, yarn over, enter that side again, yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but I'm also crocheting over these tails. Okay. Alright, and now we're going to do one more. We're going to do the treble crochet, so we'll yarn over twice, 1, 2, and then just keep advancing along. So you'll notice for the row where you have the groupings of 3 double crochet, I put 2 stitches in there. I did a single crochet at the end of the row of single crochet. I did 2 stitches at the end of the row of the double crochet, okay? And now I'm back to that row of single crochet, so I'm just going to put a treble crochet there. So slice the ice in somewhere on the side there. Still crocheting over those tails. Yarn over, pull through to the front without grabbing anything you shouldn't. That will leave me with 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. Okay. And now in the reverse order, we're going to make our way back down. So the next stitch is the double crochet. Okay, so yarn over once, going to the side. We're now at the row of double crochet, and make your double crochet. 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. Now we go smaller. Yarn over, half double crochet. Since we're in the double crochet row at the end, remember we're going to put 2 stitches in that area. Okay, so yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops. 1, 2, 3, just like the double crochet. But with the half double crochet, you yarn over and you go through all 3. 1, 2, 3. And now back at this row of single crochet, that's where we're going to put a single crochet. Still crocheting over these tails. So with the single crochet, you don't yarn over first, you just enter as you know. Pull it through to the front for 2 loops, and then yarn over, go through 2. Okay? So we're going to continue in that fashion. Okay? Single crochet, half double crochet, treble crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet, and then just start it over. Okay? So let's do it again. I just did a single crochet, so half double crochet is next. And even though I said half double crochet, I crocheted a double crochet. So half double crochet is next. Yarn over, go there, and yarn over, go through everything. Now double crochet, yarn over, and go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. Now treble crochet, there. Didn't yarn. Now treble crochet, yarn over twice. 1, 2. Going to the end of the row, single crochet, and make your treble crochet. Yarning over, going through 2, 3 times. Now go back down. Double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, like that. Okay. So this is the type of border that it's gonna give you. It's gonna give you like this sort of wave effect because you're going from small to tall, or short to tall, to short to tall, to short, and so on. Continue doing this, and I'll meet you once we get to that first corner. See you there. So I'm in the corner. I ended with a single crochet, and I'm going to put 2 more single crochet in that same corner just to help me round the corner, like that. Okay. Here's another tail. You can weave it in or you can crochet over it. But basically on this short side, I'm just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch. So we're looking at the bottom of the stitches, so just find the loop there, and then lay your tail over if you decide to crochet over it, and make your single crochet like that. Okay, so find the stitch, go to the bottom, and you'll find a loop there, and then make your single crochet over the yarn. Once again, you don't have to be super precise, but you can be, because you're crocheting into stitches versus into the sides of the stitches, so it's a little bit more defined, a little bit more organized, a little bit. It just shows you exactly where you need to go. Okay, so we're in this corner. Now I'm going to put 2 more single crochet in that same corner just to help me round it, around the corner. And now I'm going to do the same thing that I did on this side. So single crochet is there, so I'm going to go to a larger stitch, just the half double crochet. So yarn over, go in there, make your half. Okay, then make your double, then make your treble, 1, 2, like that. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And now let's go down in height. So that was a treble, now double. So yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Now half double. Alright, and now in that row single crochet at the end, just make a single. And we'll continue now. So it'll be half double, double, treble, double, half double, single. Okay, so continue doing that, and I'll meet you once we get all the way back around. When you get to the corners, just put your 3 single crochet in the corner. Make sure you put 3 so you can actually round the corner. See you in a bit. Alright, so we are almost at the corner before the final edge. Okay, you see that's where we started with the white. So what we're going to do is we're just going to continue the pattern. So there's my treble crochet. Here goes the double. In that same place goes the half double. And then in the row of single crochet at the edge, that's where my single will go, my single crochet. But because it's a corner, I'm going to put 2 more in there so that I round the corner. Okay, so 3 single crochet in the corner like always. And then just slice the icing off the top of the cake for each of these next stitches, putting 1 single crochet in every single crochet across, like that. Almost done. Okay, and in that corner you see there's 1 single crochet. That was where we started. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit so you can really see. We started with 1 single crochet in that corner, but remember, corners should have 3 stitches. So we're going to go into that same place and put 2 more single crochets. So 1 back in there for 2. So you see it rounds the corner. And then we're going to slip stitch into that very first single crochet like that. Chain 1, cut our yarn, and fasten off. And you've seen me weave in tails. Actually, not in this video, you didn't, because I crocheted over them. So let me grab my darning weave and tapestry needle and weave in this yarn through the white. So I'm going to go, I could go that way, but that's a short stitch. I'm going to go this way instead because those are taller stitches and it will be hidden more easily, I believe. So just pull it through. And take a slightly different path going in the opposite direction. Coming out where you can, where you decide to. And then cut your yarn down. Without cutting your work, of course. And there you have it. So, with this border, I really like this side. This is that back side that I was telling you about. But on the other side, you also have this pattern, which looks really cool too. The border sort of enhances it. By the way, before I get out of here, here you see this is where we crocheted over those 2 tails. If it's an eyesore, like it is in this case, then just take your darning weave and tapestry needle and pull those tails out and then just weave them in to your work individually. So I'll weave this white tail into the white yarn and then this blue into the blue, and then it will look much better. Okay? You know, as I was weaving in those last 2 tails, it occurred to me that these are literally the colors of Smurfs. And that is completely unintentional. So I guess I'm going to call this the Smurf scarf. But no, it is a beautiful scarf. A lot of fun texture, beautiful border, reversible. I mean, it just doesn't really get much better than that, wouldn't you say? And these colors really complement each other very well, I think. So, alright guys, that's going to be it for this video, but you know I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.